Hello everybody. So I got tired of sleeping on the couch, so I decided I'm going to be making a bed. And here, these are the plans. And I guess let's get started by cutting some wood. But first I decided to show you this flat rod that I found. And the first step is cutting the wood. For this project I'm using pine. So when all the wood is cut up, it's time to joint it, but something wasn't jointing properly, so I decided to be the very good fixer man and fix it, and I fixed it by unscrewing the table and shoving some veneers under it, and that fixed the problem. So now it's time to glue up the panels for the raised panels for the bed. I glued these up because I needed it just a little bit wider, and I didn't want to take the wider board. Okay, now that that's done, it's time to join the rest of the pieces. So now I'm making the raised panels for the bed in the most sketchy way possible. This is some shit you would see on Facebook, some Asian guy doing it with a cigarette in his mouth. But this time I'm doing it. But it worked out. I still have all of my 5 fingers and and some raised panels, so that's good. So now I'm smoothing the panels and taking off the saw marks. So now on the router table I'm routing out the grooves for the panels. And some of these I could have done on the table saw and it would have been a lot quicker. But I needed the router for these pieces where it stops in the middle of the board. And to join these pieces together I used dowels, the strongest joinery known to man. No, for these big pieces I decided to use dowels because they were quick and easy, and for smaller projects I do enjoy the fancy joinery, but for these big pieces I don't have a good way to cut the mortise and tenons, and I would probably cut my fingers off doing it or break something. And doing it by hand is also off the table because I wouldn't have gotten this video out on time and I probably would have gone insane. This sander I don't use very often, mainly because I forget that I have it and just not a lot of pieces to sand like this, but in this case it came in really handy. It allowed me to get in the corners of the panels and stuff. And now I'm sanding the frame itself. And when all the pieces were sanded flush, I gave it a little round over profile. And now it's time to slide the panel in like a fish in the water. I don't know what that means. I just thought of that saying right before recording this voiceover segment. But anyway, now it's time to glue the frames up. And I didn't have this long clamps, but I ended up just putting a wedge in the duck holes and wedging it together, as you can see here. And also, as you can see here, I'm putting some glue in the gaps and then sanding them so that the dust goes into the gaps and sticks to the glue and the gap disappears. But you can only really do this with small gaps, because in big ones it would be too noticeable. Now you remember that it will be on the test. So now I'm gonna be making these little profile pieces for the bed. and by that time it's time to thickness plane down some wood. I didn't bother with jointing it because uh, because I just didn't want to. And you can see the thickness planer is really cool. The back is clear and you can look at the shavings when the piece is coming out. And for routing the grooves I have this little setup. And these pieces ended up, some of them, like drifting away and making it not look pretty. But yeah, I thought I would have to make new pieces, but then I figured out that I can just turn the pieces over and route the other side. So that ended up working out. You can see here where I fucked up and now I'm doing the other side. For extra strength, the bottom stretcher I'm screwing together with some long ass screws and covering the hole with a plug. Now it's time to plane down these long pieces for the sides. Now I'm cutting the pieces for the top parts for the frames. I've been attempting to do the voiceover for this part for like 10 attempts now, and I just haven't gotten it. I think I forgot how to talk. So I'm just gonna let you watch and say some stuff every once in a while. The dust collection hole kept getting stuck. And now I'm trying to cut a 2-meter long piece precisely on the table saw. And I don't know how, but I kinda got it. And I got myself a fancy router bit. I don't know how fancy, but it's pretty cool. And these groove pieces I put on with a nail gun and glue. But my nail gun was acting up. The firing pin kept getting stuck and I had to push it back with a screwdriver. But eventually, after pouring enough oil on there, it started working properly. Man, I don't think my shop is equipped for making a bed. You know, I made the bed, but it wasn't easy. A lot of balancing and stuff. No, I really want bigger tools, but guess only way to get there is to keep hustling, keep grinding, and eventually I might get there. And the same goes for you. If you want to be something in life, you just can't give up, and you have to hustle and grind, and you'll make it. Now I'm using the fancy router bit to cut the little profile for the sides of the bed. I didn't have a good way to clamp these moldings together, so I just put the glue on there and held it together with hand pressure for a little while. Maybe like 30 seconds, and it held together good enough. So I would like to say that I'm at least trying to do fine woodworking, but for these long pieces for the bed, I didn't want to fuck around with any type of, real woodworking joinery, so I just used some L brackets and drywall screws. Yeah, that's the bed assembled, and now it's time for finishing. And I didn't film it, but I hope it will be enough that I added these pictures of me pretending that I finished it. And yeah, this is how the bed turned out. It's pretty solid with all the drywall screws. And I hope it serves me well many of years, because I don't want to make another bed anytime soon. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I know it was really long, but if you stuck around this long, I appreciate you very much. So thank you for watching this video. See you later, alligator. Bye bye, butterfly.